Imagine standing at the base of a massive stone fortress. You've spent the last several years building it with your own hands. The walls are thick, and the foundation feels completely unbreakable. Inside, you have stacked enough supplies and resources to last a lifetime. Yet, as you look up at the sky from inside these perfectly secure walls, a strange sensation begins to creep into your chest. It is a subtle, suffocating panic. You realize that while you've built the safest place imaginable, you have also accidentally built a prison. And you are the one locked inside. Every single morning, millions of people wake up and perform a very specific, modern ritual. They open their phones, tap an app, and log into their bank accounts. They stare intently at a balance index displayed on a glass screen. If the number went up, they feel a brief, fleeting wave of relief. If it went down or stayed flat, a low-grade anxiety settles directly into the pit of their stomach. They tell themselves that this daily stress is completely normal. They call it rational planning, high discipline, and adult responsibility. But if you step back and look closer at your life, a glaring paradox begins to emerge. Objectively, statistically, and historically, you are likely safer right now than almost any human who has ever walked this earth. You live in a climate-controlled shelter. You have predictable access to clean water. You possess more resource cushions and safety nets than a medieval king. Yet, despite this overwhelming systemic safety, your brain still fires off ancient panic signals. Your nervous system reacts exactly like an ancestral human running out of food in the dead of winter. To cope with this ambient dread, you have likely developed a highly sophisticated strategy. It is a form of chronic procrastination that you disguise as caution. You tell yourself that you will finally quit that toxic, soul-crushing job just as soon as you save a slightly bigger cushion. You promise yourself that you will start that creative business, move to that new city, or invest in your growth next year. Always next year, right after you cross the next numerical milestone in your portfolio. This is the seductive lie of the modern comfort zone. It is the belief that you are simply preparing for a launchpad. When in reality, you are just buying more anesthesia. You are using the accumulation of financial numbers to treat a deep psychological problem. And it is a problem that money is mechanically incapable of solving. Without realizing it, you have fallen headfirst into a profound biological glitch. And that glitch has completely frozen your human evolution. To understand why your brain is playing this trick on you, we have to look at a classic framework in psychology. In 1943, Abraham Maslow introduced his famous hierarchy of needs. He suggested that human motivations are structured like a ladder or a pyramid. Certain primitive needs must be satisfied before higher, more evolved potentials can emerge. At the very bottom of this pyramid sits level 1, your basic physiological survival. This is your biological requirement for oxygen, water, food, and sleep. If you are drowning or starving, your brain completely shuts down all higher-level thinking. Your entire reality narrows down to a single, desperate mission to secure the next breath or the next meal. Right above raw survival sits level 2, the need for safety and security. Once your stomach is full, your nervous system immediately demands predictability and order. It seeks shelter, financial stability, and protection from chaotic environmental threats. Level 2 is your biological armor. It is the instinctual urge to build a wall between your fragile body and the inherent volatility of a wild universe. Now here is the critical rule of Maslow's design that most people completely forget. The bottom 2 layers are supposed to be transitional basements, not permanent residences. Once your survival is met and your safety is reasonably secured, you are biologically designed to shift your energy upward. Your attention is meant to naturally transition to level 3, love and belonging. Then to level 4, esteem and recognition. And ultimately to level 5, self-actualization. This is the discovery, testing, and expression of your absolute highest human potential. But in the modern world, a massive neurological glitch occurs right at the border between level 2 and level 3. Because money has become our universal proxy for safety, we no longer measure security by tangible things. We don't measure it by the strength of our tribe or the stability of our physical shelter. We measure it by a digital number on a screen. And a digital number can grow infinitely. Piles of physical grain or gold used to have natural storage limits. But a digital bank account has no ceiling. This infinity creates a devastating psychological trap. Because the number can always be higher, your primitive brain concludes that you are never truly safe. Your nervous system mistakes a slight dip in your digital index for a predator lurking outside your cave. It locks you into a permanent state of low-grade survival mode. The result of this neurological error is a condition we can call nominal security hypertrophy. Just like a muscle that grows dangerously deformed from overtraining, your life becomes warped around a single task. You spend 100% of your cognitive bandwidth, your health, and your finite time endlessly widening a concrete foundation. You completely forget that you were actually supposed to build a house on top of it. Look around at our modern culture of chronic optimization, and you will see the victims of this trap everywhere. You see highly intelligent professionals working 80 hours a week at jobs they absolutely despise. They sacrifice their physical health and their youth to accumulate assets they will never have the time to enjoy. They tell themselves they are building freedom, but they are actually just terrified of the existential void that is waiting for them if they ever stop working. This behavior is a clever form of emotional outsourcing. It is far easier to open a spreadsheet and optimize a financial metric than it is to face real growth. Climbing to the top of Maslow's pyramid is terrifying and unpredictable. Solving level 3 requires you to be vulnerable, risk rejection, and build deep human connections. Solving level 4 and 5 requires you to face the fear of failure and look your true identity in the eye. It demands that you step into the radical unknown of your own potential. Faced with the terrifying weight of actual evolution, your subconscious makes a cowardly but brilliant deal. It retreats back down to level 2. It tells you, I'm not avoiding my destiny. I'm just being smart. I'm just securing my future. You use the illusion of financial planning as a highly respectable shield. It protects you from the intense psychological discomfort of becoming who you are actually meant to be. But here is the brutal, unyielding truth that your brain is trying desperately to hide from you. Money can only buy the things that belong at the bottom of the pyramid. It can buy high-end mattresses, organic food, ironclad insurance policies, and advanced security systems. It can buy the most comfortable, well-padded cage on the market. But wealth is completely, mechanically incapable of purchasing a single ounce of the upper tiers. Money cannot buy genuine human belonging. It can only buy proximity to people who value your resources. It cannot buy authentic self-esteem. It can only buy status symbols that mask your deep-seated insecurity. And it absolutely cannot buy self-actualization. Because purpose is a currency earned exclusively through courage, risk, and lived experience. When you spend your entire life supersizing your security, you are committing a tragic mathematical error. You are sacrificing your limited, irreplaceable time, the only currency that actually matters. And you are trading it to accumulate a resource whose utility completely plateaus after a certain baseline. You become an incredibly secure, perfectly protected ghost, sitting alone inside an unbreakable fortress, completely starved of a meaningful life. We need to radically reframe what true safety actually means. Evolutionary security is not the absolute absence of risk. An environment with zero risk is not a home, it is a cemetery. True human security is the developed, tested internal capacity to handle volatility. It is the deep, quiet confidence that if the floor collapses beneath you, you have the tools to rebuild. You have the resilience, the intelligence, and the tribal connections to stand back up. The next time you find yourself logging into your banking app, take a breath. The next time you tweak your financial spreadsheet for the third time in a single week, pause. Ask yourself a dangerous question. What am I actually hiding from? Look down at the massive, overbuilt foundation you have created. Realize that the concrete is already dry. The base levels are finished. You are already safe enough to begin. You do not need a larger financial cushion to start your true evolution. You simply need to find the courage to stop using your current cushion as an excuse to freeze. The upper levels of the pyramid are waiting for you. But they cannot be bought, outsourced, or automated. They require you to step out of the fortress. They demand that you embrace the beautiful volatility of the world. And they require you to finally start building upward. The algorithm of the modern world rewards consumption, comfort, and compliance. A terrified, hypersecure population is incredibly easy to monetize. But human evolution has only ever rewarded one thing: the courage to cross the border of your own fear. Stop decorating your cage, look up at the heights you've been avoiding, and start climbing.